Hello and welcome to Meet the Producers, a Brunswick podcast powered by Brunswick Area Television. I'm Ben Staunton, and over here to the right of me is the greatest fan that the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones ever had, Tom Kepler. How's it going, Tom?
That's true. It's too soon. I wish they were still around.
Yeah, I know. It's a soft spot for you, but I think the people at home should know your musical taste.
Yes, but this show is not about me. This show is about Brunswick Group Therapy. That's right. Sitting across from us, we have Mr. Lucas Merkel.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. And your co-host, your fellow host, the best part of the show, would you say?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Kimberly Bublik.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
So, have you guys ever been here on one of our government podcasts before?
We have not. This is a first, right?
No, yeah, this is a first for the
for you?
government. We've
Yeah.
been here for some other things, but
Sure. And we've seen you at meetings before because you
Yep.
guys are very involved.
We try.
So why don't we get started talking about that involvement and what led to Brunswick Group Therapy?
Oh, my goodness. Go ahead. You start. This was all your idea, I think.
yeah, well, I grew up in Brunswick. I graduated from Brunswick High School. My first job was delivering papers in Brunswick. I was a dishwasher at Bianca's in Brunswick. Moved away for a moment, didn't like it, came back to Brunswick. I've always loved Brunswick.
I have a similar story, by the way. So I moved away briefly and then came back home, and then you realize, hey, we have it pretty good here.
Yeah, we do. We do have it pretty good here, and spreading that message is something that I enjoy. You know, I've always, I'm in customer service as a job. I've always liked taking care of people, informing people. You know, I have a little bit of sales background, so you know, letting people know about the good things of Brunswick has kind of come natural to me over the years. It's an odd hobby. Kimberly and I met in a Facebook group that I run, and later down the years we started a podcast.
Okay. So you two actually met over the
We
internet.
did. We met, yeah.
Yeah.
That happens a lot. So I hear.
So, well, next year will be 25 years. I found my husband there. So.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
It's a great place to meet people.
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you guys are friends outside, but I was afraid people would think I meant that about you and your husband. But no. Do you and Lucas hang out, or is it just
Well,
kind of...
we do a little bit. He just, speaking of my husband, he just met my husband. I have to remind everybody I'm married because I go out and about without him pretty much. But his wife, Erin, is amazing. And so, yeah, we hang out. Like, we just went to Niners for the Merkel garlic shroom burger that they put on the menu.
Ooh. Delicious.
So, mushroom Swiss. What's the full title? I don't know. But anyway, it's a delicious burger and stuff like that. So, and I grew up in Brunswick, but I didn't grow up in Brunswick. So
What does that mean?
that means we lived in Middleburg Heights and Olmsted Falls, but Cairo Party Center was once a campground.
Okay.
And we literally lived out here from the time I was about 5 till I was about 15 or 16, you know, and then you become too cool to go camping with your parents. But it was a campground. And so my parents literally would go to work, go pick up the mail, that kind of stuff, and then come back out, and we stayed out there. And so when it was time for us to buy a house, it's been a little over 20 years. We've been in the township and raised our daughter here, and the rest is history. I think I started moderating with you about 8 years ago, something like that, on the page. It's been a while, 10 years ago. I'm due for a raise, by the way. We got to talk about that. But, you know, I provide entertainment. He is really the mean one, but everyone thinks I'm the mean one, so.
Nobody will believe you.
I know, right? But.
So an interesting thing that you just said is, Lucas, you live here in the city, and Kimberly, you live here in a township. So you basically encompass the whole area here of Brunswick and Brunswick Hills. So you kind of have your finger on the pulse of both areas. And that's nice because you bring that to the table when you come and talk on your podcast, because what you're doing then is you're talking about what's happening in the township, you're talking about the city, and then you kind of merge that together, which I think a lot of people like, because, you know, this is not a dig on anybody, but I've had people call before and they're not exactly sure if they live in the city or the township when they first move here. So they'll be like, well, you know, I'm talking to my friend and I'm trying to find out when my garbage comes, but I don't have that garbage service. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, you live in a township, and this is how I know, because, you know, we're looking at the map right here, or you can always contact the county and find out. But a lot of people are confused a little bit back and forth on where they live. But technically, we all live together. I mean,
Correct.
we're all merged together. We're a community. I mean, we serve the city of Brunswick and Brunswick Hills Township here at BAT, and apparently so do both of you, right?
Well, and I think what we do, and you'll have to just shut me up because I keep talking and he just looks at me like, go on, say what you have to say.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here. Say
But
it.
I think what we do really well is I do the social aspects of things and he does the business aspect of things. So public records request and the digging into rules and regulations and stuff like that. He does a lot of that. I'm the party planner, and the page has enabled us to help people in their time of need, whether it be a child in need or the fires, a house fire and stuff like that. It's really been a tool that the You're from Brunswick If page has allowed us to really bring the two, the township and the city, together to help. We're right in the middle of our next project. Marketing is like my love, and grassroots marketing is my number one love.
Is that what you do for a living? Or
I don't. I'm in the nonprofit sector.
Okay.
So I'm an administrator for a nonprofit.
Nonprofit marketing is just as important, though,
Yeah,
because that's
It is. It is. But we really our key thing is to support small businesses.
Cool.
I mean, and inform the public of what, But so we're constantly trying to come up with new ideas to highlight the businesses. We never charge anybody anything. We don't, they look at us like, what? You what? And I'm like, honestly, we're just
hobby.
here. It's a hobby
service and
that
it's
we
free.
love. And I think I'm speaking for the both of us when I say
Right.
that we love. And our next project, we do community projects together and stuff like that. And like you said, bringing the township and the city together. We're doing a blessing box project. So that the blessing box is a 24/7 food pantry. And it's just a box that'll be sitting on private property, and there'll be 4 of them located throughout Brunswick and the township. And through the page, we will help facilitate keeping those stocked so people can go and get assistance whenever they need. So,
Now, do you know the
excited about
location
that.
at this time, or is this still something that's in the works at this recording?
I know the location of 3 of them, and the 4th is still up in the air. I haven't gotten final. So there'll be one in the township at the Brunswick Hills Police Department. There'll be one at Fair Trade next to Luna's on Pearl Road.
okay.
And there will be one at the Brunswick Methodist Church on the corner of 303
Nice.
and Pearl. So we're hoping to get one more down farther on 303. We're scoping that out. And ideally, I would like one over by Great Scots, but we'll see. Medina's had them for years, and it's just something that I
Oh,
feel
have
the
they?
community, yeah, they have. And I'm not saying we have to be like every other community, but often that's one of the questions. A lot of these things come out of the questions that we see in the group. And then we just feel that we need to take a lead on them and either find answers or do something about it. And a lot of people are having a hard time making it to food pantries, the hours that they're open and stuff like that. So this hopefully will help them in a time of need.
It is limiting. And there is certain times where having so many in town, you think, why can't they all just work together? Why can't we unify as one? But having more options, kind of, if somebody does something one way, who's to say the opposite way isn't just as good and beneficial to someone or
Right.
someone else? So you see every aspect of it through that, especially trying to listen to everyone at the same time, which I'm sure is challenging.
Right.
So let's actually turn this to the creative side a little bit more. So the podcast, we were speaking earlier about kind of the flexibility about you can do anything you want over a podcast. Some people do audio only, some people do video podcasts. What would you say was a catalyst of doing the podcast? Is it people who maybe are tired of scrolling and kind of want to kick back and just listen, or what?
Yeah,
What exactly sparked the interest for you?
Obviously the group is on Facebook, so not everybody sees every single post. So we kind of wanted to recap, but didn't want to do it in a post, because it would be the same thing. They may not see that post. So I was at a Brunswick soccer game, and on the team was a father of one of the children named Zebulon Thomas. He's a Brunswick graduate. He does podcasting. He's a filmmaker for commercial He did Sweet Frog and Cool Beans and Main Street Medina and other national brands. And we were talking about how I could further what I want to accomplish. And he said podcasting would be a great, easy start. He produced the first one and showed me how to do it. He did maybe the second or third, kind of backed off. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the editing. I enjoyed the control that I had. You're right. The first one didn't have any visuals. It was just audio only. It had a background, and that was it. And we've moved along and gotten better over the years, both with our audio and our video, and learning some techniques. Obviously, Bat has been instrumental in that as well, in teaching me how to do certain things and providing me with equipment and the studio and editing when we have our special event episodes.
Yeah, we do what we can. I always say I live in a world of endless creativity, and anybody who doesn't needs to get real. So just the fact that you can recognize that, and if you have any questions, ask either us or somebody else in the business. Somebody will point you in the right direction. So
yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for more people to podcast and get whatever message they have out in a different way.
I think Chris says the same thing all the time, doesn't he? Everyone has their own unique point of view, so why not share it?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, if somebody wanted to contact you, so you were talking about the 4 boxes or whatever, maybe by the time this gets out, you'll find somebody to fill that void that you're looking for, that 4th box. But if somebody is looking to fill that void, or just any way to contact you, how do they do that? They want to reach out to you, and what kind of things are you looking for? Are you talking about feel-good stories? Are you talking about hard-hitting stories? Are you talking about businesses? Or are you talking about all of those things?
I think we pretty much cover it all.
We do.
I'm the target roasty. I get roasted pretty much because I do push the buttons. I do bring some edgy stuff. Lucas pushes some buttons, I think, sometimes with city issues and stuff like that, because we want the people to engage. We want them to think about what's going on, and most of all, we want them to get involved in their community. So a few of the ways to reach us is on we do have a website, brunswickgrouptherapy.com.
Right. We both have email addresses. Lucas at brunswickgrouptherapy.com, Kimberly at brunswickgrouptherapy.com, or just contact at brunswickgrouptherapy.com. And then obviously we both have social medias. You can find us on many platforms, including Facebook, Twitter.
And one of the things that we do have on the website is the little microphone in the lower right-hand corner, and people can leave us a comment or a message or something they want to talk about. We keep asking for it, and not too many people have used it so far. We're excited. We do have Roger from Houndstown. He leaves us a message every week for Adopt a Pooch, the Pooch of the Week, we call it.
That's cool.
So yeah, and he's doing a great job just getting those animals placed. But we highlight them every week, so stuff like that. But we'll cover it all. We'll there's nothing that I don't think that's off the.
No, we've never. Maybe sometimes we've steered it the other way, but we've never turned anybody down on what they want us to include in the podcast or.
Yeah, or on the page.
Or on the page.
We might streamline it and keep everything in one area, but bring it on.
Ben's learning French. Can he leave you a message in French?
He can.
Yes, I'll work on it. I got an English to French dictionary, and I'm working on it. I picked it up in Canada.
That's right.
So
French Canada.
Yeah, so it may not be perfect, but it'll be the best I can do. So
you could start with Brunswick Group Therapy.
I could.
Yeah.
So I have a question. This one was kind of something I came up with yesterday. You've been doing this for a year now. Congratulations. And, the big day has come and gone, and that was fantastic. And 52 is my favorite number. So when you hit 52, I was kind of said, hey, all right. So
that was his football number.
Yeah, so it's my football number. It's this whole thing. So, and I went to Brunswick as well, and I have kind of a similar story to you and Tom. So, we were talking the other day, and we were like, well, what have you done on the podcast that has turned out even better than you thought it would? So let's say you asked for one small little thing and it blew up into something fantastic, or something that made you go, wow, this is really making a difference.
Well, first I could think of the Brunswick Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
That was amazing.
Yeah, we we got some great support from a lot of people, and more people jumped in as they saw what was going on. So we're going to replicate that and make it bigger next year. We have everybody that was supportive last year is on board again this year.
I think another thing that we've done, Roger from Houndstown, is, highlighting those dogs, as I said before, and I think they're getting placed faster than they normally would because a little extra added exposure between the page and the podcast, and I think that helps. So,
So many things in town, especially since we're all honed in here at home in Brunswick. It's easy to say I did everything I could, but then you stop and think, I could have done a little bit more. So the fact that you guys are as active as you are and constantly looking to add and improve anything and get other people's input and other people involved, that's proving that you're doing everything you can, in my opinion. And that's a rare thing, and I believe the strongest way to lead is by example. And I pride our crew here that I think we kind of do the same thing from our point of view, what we can do. But it's awfully easy to get together with the guys on the block or whatever's going on and say, man, we should do this. Why don't they do that? Why don't you do that? But to actually put things in action and see it in real time and hear about it on the podcast, that's the best. And it's bringing it back to home. So that's why I'm glad you guys joined us here today, and things are going as well for you as they appear to be to me, at least.
Thanks.
So.
Thanks.
good. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Kimberly, she will open up a closed business that's still constructing and ask them if they need help before they open. She's not afraid to put herself out there to say, hey, we're here to help. What do you need? Would you like to be on the show? Do you need some information to be sent out to everybody? What can we do?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've developed a really strong, sometimes challenging base. But like you said, it's encouraging people to get off the keyboard and get out into the community and do things. And if we can have any part of that and keep that momentum going, we're really happy and proud to do that. So
Good. That creates a stronger community for everybody. That's the impression I get. What do you think, Ben?
What our big thing is here at Brunswick Area Television is to be local. I know we've said lots of times that it's fantastic that we have a global community where everything can be so close and so far away. It's made the world much smaller, but in reality, the nice thing here is that we have local people doing a local show about local things. I mean, it's not just you goofing around or whatever all the time, and that's great too, but it's also you bringing home what's going on in Brunswick. And that's one of the things that Brunswick Area Television is kind of prides ourselves on is we're local. I mean, we bring meeting coverage and everything else. And, we've heard you guys have talked about meeting coverages or elaborated on things that are happening. And I think that's fantastic. So kudos to you guys for doing that. And it's one great asset that's been added to our channel as well, because, the public is watching and they're listening and it's going out. So while I am saying that, I do want to say the times that Brunswick Group Therapy podcast airs on the public channel. It airs on Saturdays at 2 p.m., Thursdays at midnight, 8 a.m., and 6 p.m. Once again, just in case you're driving, you have to pull off the road as fast as you can and get this information down. I'll give you just a second to, put your hazards on. And it's Saturdays at 2 p.m., Thursdays at midnight, 8 a.m., and 6 p.m. And where else are you available? Because I know you're out on a whole bunch of different areas. Where else can people catch the podcast?
So you can watch it on BrunswickGroupTherapy.com. You can find it on YouTube at Brunswick Group Therapy. You can also find it on, obviously, Bat TV and anywhere podcasts are available. So we're on Spotify, we are on Apple, we're on all the major podcast distributors.
Cool. User-friendly, I like to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, find it wherever you want to watch it.
Yeah. So usually on this show so far, we've had characters and comedians and people talking about their entertainment shows. So let's try and get this hype up kind of similar to that. What's been your favorite thing so far doing the Brunswick Group Therapy? What's been most off the wall, ridiculous, or just gets you guys cracking up? even if it's behind the scenes and in there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, meeting all the different business owners has been great. You know, some of them are characters, some of them are hilariously funny, you know, and they don't show that on the show or in what they do on their own social media pages.
Okay, I have two.
Go ahead.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
One is the adult Easter. We had an adult Easter egg hunt
Cool.
the week before Easter, and every egg had a prize in it. And I went to area businesses and said, "Give me some prizes." And then I went to some others and said, "Not only do I want prizes, but here's some eggs. Hand these out this Saturday between 9 and I don't know. It started at 9 or whatever time it started." The comments. Then you had to come back. We had a huge golden egg that you could win. But you had to come back to the page and give a shout out to the business that you went to and the business that you got the egg prize from. And what was exciting for me was all the comments about, I never knew that business was there. I've lived here for 10 years and I never knew that business was there. And that was the entire purpose of the event, was just to bring awareness to what we have in our community as far as our businesses. And to remind people they're there. You know, there was people drinking beer at Ignite at 11 o'clock in the morning, and sidelines they were drinking, and just, you know, just people out having fun. So we're already prepared with about 2,500 eggs for next year. So we'll be doing that again, and we're doing something at Christmas in July that I hope goes over just as well, where you have to find the Grinch and go and take a picture with the Grinch. So
Whoa.
that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
anyway, and I think the funniest one so far just happened, and that was the deer, the picture of the deer.
Oh yeah.
So there was a deceased deer on the side of the road on Grafton, and somebody put a free sign up in front of it.
Oh, no.
And I took a picture and I posted it, and I said, "Well played," and I got roasted. And at the end of the story, after I got roasted, and I kept it up, Lucas was like, "Good, kudos to you, you kept it up." You know, I didn't dirty delete. But the end of the story was the gentleman whose house it was at his house, is in a wheelchair, but he's the hardest working man I've ever seen. It's right around the corner from my house. He's out there fixing his fence, leaning over, and he's just so inspirational. He put the sign on there in hopes that somebody would actually be able to benefit from the deer, even though it was deceased. It was going to be there for a few days. The animal warden couldn't pick it up until Monday, but it was funny. It was funny because I got roasted, and I always, find that slightly entertaining because I'm the one to hate.
So
they like.
you can take a punch when you need to.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
But that does draw the attention to different contexts. So.
Well, and it allows us, like I said, to push some, maybe let people think outside the box a little bit. Now, here's something they thought I guess I kind of was I wasn't making fun of the dead deer. I was making fun of the sign. But the person that placed that sign there actually had really good intentions.
Yeah, meant the best.
Meant the best. And so I think that also gives us another aspect of don't believe and don't judge everything that you see on social media or that you hear in a podcast. Sorry. You know what I mean?
I'll turn this off right now.
But I mean, it's not don't judge a book by a cover. That's not the right thing to say, but it's just don't believe everything that you read and see. And I think that's what Lucas and I too bring is we fact find him more than me, but we get to the bottom of things and try and get answers. And we're grateful to a couple of city officials that are on the page and are active on the page. Mm-hmm. So Nick Hannock and Brandon.
I've seen Brandon Lambert on there.
Yeah, Brandon Lambert and Nick Hannock are on there, and the Brunswick Hills Fire Department sometimes will chime in, but we're grateful to them being a social presence, on a public forum like that, because I know
it's a lot of work for them too.
Yeah.
Keep the facts straight and people informed.
Right.
So to date myself, basically you're saying like Public Enemy used to say, don't believe the hype. Is that what we're saying there?
Right.
Yes,
Basically. Yeah. Basically. Fact find before let's find out the facts before we jump all over somebody and stuff like that. So.
Okay. I just wanted to point out they have not looked at their phones or computers this whole time. So sorry, Brunswick, for keeping them away from you.
This is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying myself.
It's good.
Tables are turned. This is the easy part. So
Yeah, well, we're going to wrap this show up so you guys can go back and host your own show. So that way you can show us how it's done.
Well, thank you so much for having us. This has been
Yeah, we appreciate it. Always a pleasure coming to the Bat Studio and spending some time with you guys.
And you guys know what we do. We're here to do what we can. And we're trying to get more tours in here. We have a couple interns coming from schools recently. So we're just trying to get the word out that we're here. And we're trying to spread word for our public volunteers. Because if it weren't for you guys, the public channel would not exist. So we truly appreciate you guys coming in and taking time and valuing the equipment that's here.
Absolutely.
definitely.
Ben, anything else?
Well, once again, I just want to say the times that Brunswick Group Therapy podcast airs on the public channel. It's Saturdays at 2 p.m., Thursdays at midnight, 8 a.m., and 6 p.m. It's also available up to 3 months on our on-demand site, which is bat.vibit.com. Give them a listen, give them a view. You can check them out on all of their platforms that they're available on. That'd be great. YouTube. And don't forget, when you go visit those places, show them some love. Give them the likes. Give them some comments. I mean, everybody likes to hear every once in a while some good news, some bad news, whatever you want to hear. You just go ahead and say it. And if you're looking for them to cover something, I'm sure if you said, hey, what about this? They would entertain that. So they seem like they're very open to suggestions to the show. So I'd like to thank both of you for coming in. I'm sure that, it was a busy day for you, and I appreciate you coming in. And so would you say that podcasting is something you would recommend that people try and do?
No, because I don't want competition.
Oh, well,
So
That's an honest answer.
that is an honest answer.
it depends what your topic is. No, I'm just kidding. Did I think I would be doing a podcast a year and a half ago? Did you think you would be doing a podcast a year and a
No,
half ago?
I had no idea that.
And that we'd be here a year and a half later, over a year later. But we have so much fun doing it. So
Right. And you can start with your phone. You don't have to buy equipment. You can just start with your phone and upload it just like that. Or you can borrow and use the equipment right here at the Bat Studio if you're in Brunswick and Brunswick Hills. So, I mean, don't let any of that hold you back. And if you don't know how to start, somebody will get you started.
yeah.
Exactly.
So here's what I would suggest. Reach out to us, come on our show first.
Yeah,
talk
tip
to
and
us,
toe.
see how it goes, and then if you feel like you've got more to say, start your own. Say it.
Words of the wise. That's why we thank you. Kimberly and Lucas, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
And that sounds like a great transition to remind you that you can do your own podcast or television program right here on Brunswick Area Television. Reach out to us, 330-220-1726. I'd like to thank you both, myself, for coming in today. And I think that's pretty much it. So thanks for listening. Bye.
Bat Government programs are produced by Chris Golian, Tom Kepler, and Ben Staunton. You can find this and other Brunswick podcasts at www.brunswick.oh.us under the Brunswick Area Television Department. Feel free to reach out to us with topic suggestions or comments. Thanks for tuning in.